Welcome back. It is Derby week and the teams are locked in. No late changes at the Thursday update, so everything we are about to go through is confirmed. I'm JB and this is your Derby Eve preview for Western Derby 63, round 20, Optus Stadium. Right, the headline from the team sheet: Fremantle makes 3 changes. Oscar McDonald, Shai Bolton and Corey Wagner come in. Brennan Cox is managed. Jaeger O'Meara is out with a low-grade syndesmosis injury to his ankle, and Hayden Young misses with illness. 2 midfielders down, 1 welcome return and 1 slightly surprising omission, given the club's own reporting earlier this week suggested they were not planning to manage anyone. Cox going out anyway is a mild surprise. The club has listed him as managed with no physical concern attached, so treat it as a workload call. McDonald comes in at full back, Pearce moves to centre half back, Chapman holds the third tall role. The back 6 reshuffles but stays credentialed. Now, the bit of the team sheet worth pausing on. Shai Bolton is named as a follower, starting on ball alongside Luke Jackson and Caleb Serong. What matters is the load. With Young and O'Meara both out, there is no rotating him forward for a breather. He is needed in there for 4 quarters, and there is a precedent worth knowing. Round 2 this year against Melbourne, Young was out and Bolton went into the midfield and produced one of the best games of his career. 32 disposals, 9 clearances, 2 goals, 10 coaches' votes. Same circumstance, and he answered it emphatically. Fremantle will be hoping for the repeat. Nathan O'Driscoll starts in the centre square in his 50th game. Andrew Brayshaw and Matt Johnson are alongside him. Neil Erasmus, Corey Wagner and Karl Worner are on the interchange. Murphy Reid is named at half forward. Karl Worner also reaches his 50th, so we get 2 Fremantle players hitting that milestone in the same derby. That is a nice marker of where this list's depth has come from. Oscar McDonald plays his 100th AFL game, 11 seasons, 3 clubs, a year out of the system, and he makes it to the century in purple in a derby, replacing an established defender. He debuted for Melbourne in round 22 of 2015 against Fremantle at the old Subiaco ground. Now he runs out at Optus for the 100. That is a good story. Over to West Coast, they also make 3 changes. Ryan Marrick, Harvey Johnston and Sandy Brock return. Liam Baker is suspended after accepting a 1-match sanction for rough conduct on Brisbane's Cam Rayner. Jack Graham is managed. Jack Hutchinson misses with a hamstring injury. Crucially, all 3 returning Eagles are named on the interchange. Andrew McQualter has kept his starting structure close to the side that pushed Brisbane, using the returnees as rotation rather than injecting them into set positions. And the ruck news that changes everything about this contest: Matt Flynn is an emergency. West Coast's ruck is Bailey Williams. Any preview built around a Jackson versus Flynn battle is void. Jackson goes up against Williams, which is a very different proposition. Now let me give you some background on this fixture, because a derby is not a neutral event. Here is the Richmond thread that ties this game together. Shai Bolton, Liam Baker and Jack Graham were all Premiership teammates at Richmond. All 3 left in the same period. Bolton came to Fremantle. Baker and Graham went to West Coast. Baker is suspended, Graham is managed. Both ex-Tiger Eagles sit this one out, while the ex-Tiger Docker returns to play the most important midfield role of his season. If Bolton has a big night through the middle, the absence of Baker's tackling pressure is the most obvious explanation. In last year's round 20 derby, Brady Hoof was sent to tag Serong and largely succeeded. Fremantle still won by 49 because Andrew Brayshaw stepped up with 32 disposals and 8 clearances while Serong was occupied. Who is named on the interchange again this week? Watch whether he goes to Serong early or whether McQualter holds him for Bolton instead, given Bolton's new on-ball role. That is the tactical subplot of the night. Hayden Young won the Glendinning Allen Medal in last year's round 20 derby, collecting 23 disposals and 3 goals in a best on ground performance. He watches from home tomorrow night with illness, and it is rough timing for him. Young has only just come back from a groin issue, and the club managed his minutes carefully through that return, rotating him forward as part of a deep midfield rather than leaving him in there. Now, an illness knocks him out of a derby, completely unrelated to the groin, just bad luck on top of bad luck. There was a commentator this week making the point that Young has not strung together a long run of games in a fair while, and whatever the exact number is, that is the frustrating part of his season. When he plays, he is one of the best players in the competition. He won this medal last year. He just has not been able to get a clean run at it. And Harley Reid, his first Western Derby, ended with him finishing 1 vote short of the medal, beaten by his own teammate Elliot Yeo. He had 19 disposals, 7 clearances and 3 goals in only his 6th AFL game. Both Reid and Yeo are named together in West Coast's midfield again tomorrow night. Yeo is the experienced head holding the centre square together with Baker and Graham out, but Harley Reid is the player the entire Eagles game plan runs through. Let's do the key matchups quickly. Alex Pearce on Jake Waterman. Waterman kicked 5 goals against Brisbane and is West Coast's clearest path to a competitive score. Pearce is the competition's benchmark intercept defender. The subplot is that Brennan Cox's absence removes Pearce's usual senior partner, so the aerial support work around Waterman matters more than usual. Oscar McDonald on Jack Williams. 2 milestone men, most likely marking each other. McDonald's job is to hold the secondary tall while Pearce handles Waterman. If West Coast can pull McDonald high and isolate Waterman in a one-on-one, Cox's absence becomes the story of the match. Caleb Sarong on Harley Reid. Reid's season is built on contested ball and stoppage exits, and West Coast asks him to turn those wins into attack largely on his own. Sarong has Brayshaw, Jackson, Bolton, Johnson and O'Driscoll around him. Fremantle can distribute the workload in a way the Eagles genuinely cannot. The contest turns on efficiency and on whether Hauff arrives at Sarong's hip. Luke Jackson on Bailey Williams. Jackson's workload is significant with Sean Darcy again omitted and only Mason Cox as ruck relief. Williams does not need to beat Jackson around the ground. He just needs to stop Jackson winning clearances, linking in transition and then hurting West Coast inside 50. That is a more achievable brief, and the matchup the week's coverage largely missed. Luke Ryan on Job Shanahan. Shanahan kicked 3 goals and took 6 marks against Brisbane, was named among the Eagles' best and has now kicked multiple goals in 3 consecutive matches. Ryan is at his most dangerous when free to leave his opponent and attack the ball. If Shanahan's aerial presence pins him accountable, Fremantle's rebound from half-back loses its sharpest weapon. West Coast suddenly has 2 forwards Freo must respect rather than 1. Tim Kelly is also on that half-forward line. He was West Coast's best player in last year's round 20 derby with 26 disposals, 2 goals and 8 clearances. That line is not to be taken lightly. 3 things to watch tomorrow night. First, Bolton at the centre bounce. The team sheet says he starts on ball. Watch his centre bounce attendance through the second and third quarters. Sustained midfield minutes confirm Fremantle is treating him as a genuine like-for-like replacement. A drift forward would suggest Longmuir reverted to using him as a match winner. Those are 2 very different tactical statements. Second, whether Luke Ryan can still intercept. McDonald gets the milestone billing, but Ryan against Shanahan may matter more to the final score. Third, the opening quarter. Fremantle has trailed at half-time in 4 of its past 5 games. West Coast's entire method is a fast, high-pressure start. They led the reigning premiers by 21 points inside the opening term last week. Both facts point at the same 20 minutes. Longmuir has publicly told his players they will be hunted early. He said the Dockers do not sneak under anyone's radar from the top of the ladder. If we concede the first quarter again in a derby at home, it gets uncomfortable, regardless of what the models say. Models, for what it is worth, heavily favour Fremantle. We should win this, but we should be winning from the first bounce. Not spending 20 minutes chasing our tails and relying on the class to come out in the second half. We have seen that movie a few times too many lately. One quick thing before we go. If you want the team news the moment it drops, plus score updates and the bits that do not make it into the show, we have got a Wharf Talk WhatsApp channel running now. Search Wharf Talk in WhatsApp channels or hit the link in the episode description. No spam, no group chat noise, just Freo. Enjoy the derby. Go Freo.